Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing good. I am Roshni from LearnerHub, the free learning platform where you get to learn physics, chemistry, maths, biology, social science absolutely for free at learnerhub.com. So today I am here with a video on human eye and the colorful world, class 10 science. And this video has been created specifically as per the latest syllabus of 2020. And in this particular video, we are going to cover some important concepts about prism. What exactly is a prism? How does refraction take place in a prism? What's dispersion? Not just that, we will also talk about how is a rainbow formed. So this is going to be a super duper conceptual and super duper important video as well. So are we all ready? Let's get started.
Prism is a transparent optical element with flat polished surfaces that refract light. You would have seen these prisms in your school laboratories. It is made up of glass, but the structure looks somewhat like this. It has got two triangular surfaces and two other somewhat rectangular surfaces. So it has got two triangular surfaces and three somewhat rectangular surfaces, and all of them are transparent, and each of these surfaces are capable of refracting light. I am not talking about a reflection here, I am talking about refraction. So refraction here will take place because there is a change in medium, because this is made up of, the prism is made up of glass. So the change in medium is encountered when a light ray enters from air to the prism, that is, it changes its medium from air to glass. Similarly, when it goes out of the prism, it changes the medium from glass to air. Right? So now let us look at some of the terminologies related to a prism. So there are certain terminologies related to a prism. The first one is incident ray. So now we will see how refraction takes place through a prism. So here you can see this is the ray of light which strikes the prism. So this becomes my incident ray. Right? Then what happens? When this incident ray, when this ray of light enters from medium 1 to medium 2, this is made up of glass, right? So this has got a different refractive index. So what will happen? Refraction takes place. Since it is entering from a rarer medium to a denser medium, what will happen? The ray will bend towards the normal. So this is the normal because it is perpendicular to this surface. So now you see that instead of going like this, it bent like this. So this is my refracted ray. So this is the refracted ray. Then the third one is the emergent ray. That is the ray which comes out of the prism. Again, from here to here, the light ray is again moving from a denser medium to rarer medium. So it will undergo refraction, that is, the ray will move away from the normal. So this was the normal, so it moves away from the normal. So this is my emergent ray. Right? Similarly, we have something called angle of deviation. What is angle of deviation? Angle of deviation is that angle by which the incident ray gets deviated because of the prism. Let us suppose if there had been no prism, in that case, what would have been the direction of incident ray? The incident ray would have gone straight like this, right? If there were no prism. Now, since prism is there, what is the direction of the ray which is coming out of the prism? The ray is this one. So that means instead of this direction, now the ray got deviated to this direction because of the presence of this prism. So the angle formed by this emergent ray with the incident ray is known as the angle of deviation. So the angle by which the ray gets deviated, the incident ray gets deviated because of the presence of the prism is known as angle of deviation, and it is generally denoted by delta. There is something called angle of prism. Angle of prism is this angle. This angle of the prism is known as the angle of prism. So these are some of the terminologies which will be helpful as we go ahead and study more about prism. Right? So in prism, there is always an incident ray, a refracted ray and an emergent ray. The angle which the emergent ray makes with the incident ray is known as the angle of deviation. and every prism has an angle of prism which is characteristic of itself. So what do we mean by dispersion? Dispersion means splitting of light into its constituent colors. We all know that the white light which we see around us, it's not exactly white. It is made up of 7 different colors. So the splitting of the light into its constituent colors is known as dispersion. So whenever you pass white light through a prism, it gets dispersed into its constituent colors, and this is known as dispersion by prism. So here if you see in this figure, you can see that as white light enters inside a prism, what do you see? All its constituent colors come out from the other end of the prism. So the pattern of colors obtained is known as spectrum. So this pattern of all the 7 colors is known as the spectrum. Right? So now the question is, what causes dispersion by prism? Long back, Newton had performed one experiment with the prisms and white light. What he did, he'd made an arrangement as shown here. He took one prism and he made white light pass through the prism. What did he observe? He observed that the output from the first prism was the spectrum, that is all the constituent colors which are present in white light. Now he took another prism and placed it in front of this prism in this way. In the reverse way. So what happened? The spectrum, that is all the constituent colors, when entered inside this prism, when passed through this prism, what was the output? He obtained white light beam. So what did he conclude? So with this experiment performed by Newton, the old myths got an answer. Because in earlier days, people thought that whenever white light was passed through a prism, different colors were obtained. So people thought that there is something inside the prism which produced those colors. But that was not correct, because when Newton made this arrangement, if that would have been correct, in that case, in this case also, the spectrum should have been the output. But in this case, white light beam was the output. That means there is nothing extraordinary inside the prism. It is just that as the light passes through the prism, there is some behavior of the light which takes place when it enters a different medium. So what was that different medium which caused that dispersion by prism? Let us look into that in detail. So later, after this Newton's experiment was done, there was a scientist named Cauchy who performed some more experiments, and he did more further studies on this topic, and he gave a relationship between the refractive index and wavelength of light. So what did he say? He said that this prism, since it is made up of glass, it has got a refractive index of its own. Now, when this white light beam enters the prism, each color present inside the white light has a specific wavelength of its own, right? And he told that each wavelength is related to the refractive index by a formula. So what was that formula? That formula was popularly known as Cauchy's formula. It said that refractive index mu is equal to A plus B divided by lambda square, where A and B are constants and they are popularly known as Cauchy's constants, after the name of the scientist Cauchy. So from this, he told that refractive index is inversely proportional to the wavelength of light. So this is what Cauchy told. So what happened because of this? According to Cauchy, since white light consists of different colors, right? Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. These are the different colors present inside white light. Now if we talk about wavelength, the wavelength in case of violet light is minimum and the wavelength for red is maximum, right? Now according to Cauchy's formula, the light with minimum wavelength the maximum refractive index will be associated with it. That means the refractive index associated with this violet light would be more and the refractive index associated with the red light would be less, that is minimum. And again, there was another relationship, or there was another observation which told that the angle of deviation is directly proportional to the refractive index of the medium. That means the light, the color for which the refractive index is maximum, for that the angle of deviation will also be maximum. So therefore, violet will deviate the most. So violet color would deviate the most, and similarly in this case delta M would be minimum, and therefore red color would deviate the least. Now because of this, what happened, as white light entered inside the prism, since each of the color had different wavelengths, therefore the angle of deviation for each of them were different. So they all deviated by different angles, and that made each of them visible. If all of them would have had the same wavelength, in that case there would have been no segregation of colors. Since each color had a different wavelength, so each of them deviated by different angles, and we were able to see each of the colors separately. Right? Okay, so this is what was observed, and this is known as Cauchy's formula. So these two things together, the Cauchy's formula and the fact that angle of deviation is directly proportional to the refractive index, these two things taken together describes the reason behind the dispersion by prism. Now let us look at an interesting example of refraction, that is rainbow. So it is an interesting example of dispersion, refraction and reflection of sunlight by spherical rainwater droplets. So it is an example of all the three phenomena which we have studied so far. We studied reflection, we studied refraction, and just now we studied about dispersion as well. So rainbow is an example of all these three phenomena. So let us try to see how and when is a rainbow formed. When do you actually see a rainbow? If you observe, you will generally see a rainbow after rain. Then let us suppose you had a heavy rain. When the rain almost stops, such that one part of the sky is sunny, whereas the other part of the sky is rainy. Now if you stand keeping your back towards the sun, you will be able to see the rainbow. That is the observation. Now why that happens, that I'll explain you in the next two slides. So did you understand when exactly you see a rainbow? You will observe it for yourself, that when the rain stops and the weather is such that some part of the sky is sunny, you can see the sun there, and some part of the sky is still cloudy. Now if you stand in such a way that your back is towards the sun, in that case you will be able to see the rainbow in front of you. Right? Okay, so in this picture also you can see rainbow. So if you see, this part of the sky is cloudy, whereas this part of the sky is little sunny. So if you stand somewhere here, you will be able to see this rainbow. Now there are two types of rainbow. One is called a primary rainbow, the other one is a secondary rainbow. Now difference between, both of them look like the normal rainbow which you would have seen on the sky. The difference between a primary rainbow and secondary rainbow is because of the difference in their formation. Because of the difference in the way they are formed, they are named as primary rainbow and secondary rainbow. So now we will look at how is the rainbow formed. So let us first look at the primary rainbow formation. How is a primary rainbow formed? It is a stepwise process. So what happens now? Generally, as I mentioned, a rainbow is generally formed after a rain, right? So when there is a rainfall which had taken place, that means there will be some raindrops already present in the atmosphere, right? Some water droplets will be present in the atmosphere. Now what happens? And I also mentioned that it is formed only when some part of the sky is sunny. That means sunlight is present. So what happens when this sunlight enters the raindrop? Refraction takes place. As you can see in this figure, this is the sunlight which is entering the raindrop. So refraction will take place. Now sunlight is again white light. So as it enters the raindrop, it gets dispersed into the different colors. So you can see that the red end and the violet end get deviated by different angles because they have got different wavelengths and they are entering a medium of different refractive index, right? So refraction of sunlight takes place. In the next step, what happens? Total internal reflection of light takes place inside the drop. Now, when they reach this boundary, what happens? Total internal reflection takes place. That means they get internally reflected and then they again come out from the other end. So what happens here again? Refraction of the reflected light takes place as it comes out of the drop because again there is a change in medium, right? So what happened? While entering inside the raindrop, there was refraction. Inside there was internal reflection. When it strikes the boundary of the raindrop, it comes back, it bounces back. That is internal reflection. And then again, when it comes out from the raindrop to the atmosphere, again refraction takes place. So as a result of this, what happens? Let us suppose if you are the observer. So let us suppose if you are standing somewhere here. So what do you see? You see the light rays which are coming out of the raindrop, right? For example, when I was talking about refraction through a glass slab, I told you that the observer always sees the emergent ray. That is, the observer always sees the ray which is coming out of the medium. So what is the emergent ray in these cases? These rays which are coming out of the medium are the ones which we see. So the observer sees the constituent colors, right? Because what was the input to the raindrop? Input was white sunlight, that is white light. But what was the output? Output is the spectrum of different colors because now dispersion had also taken place, right? So what does the observer see? Firstly, the observer sees the dispersed light, that is, it sees all the 7 different colors, right, from all of the raindrops. So as a result, we are able to see a rainbow. So now you can understand that why do we see a rainbow after a rain? Because only after a rain you will have so many water droplets in the atmosphere. Why do we see it when one part of the sky is sunny? Because only then you will have sunlight, and sunlight and raindrops are the 2 necessary things for a rainbow formation. And why are you able to see a rainbow only when you stand keeping your back towards the sun? That is because if you see, sunlight comes from here and it falls on the raindrop, and then whatever is coming from the raindrop, if that reaches your eye, only then you will be able to see the rainbow. So if you stand in such a way that your back is towards these raindrops, that means you are facing the sun. In that case, you will not be able to see the rainbow because these rays coming out of the raindrops will not be able to reach your eye, right? Let us now look at the formation of secondary rainbow. Let us see what is different in case of secondary rainbow. In case of secondary rainbow also, refraction of sunlight takes place as it enters the raindrop. Internal reflection also takes place. So here if you see, this is how the sunlight enters. This is how internal reflection takes place. But in this case, internal reflection takes place inside the drop for the second time. So it is something like there are somewhere internal reflection will take place only once, somewhere internal reflection will take place twice. But however, the rainbow which you see will remain the same. There is no difference in the view of a primary rainbow and a secondary rainbow. It is just that since in the formation of a secondary rainbow, the internal reflection inside the raindrop takes place twice, so it is known as a secondary rainbow. And again, when it comes out of the drop, refraction takes place as again there is a change in medium. So rest everything remains the same. It is just that in case of a secondary rainbow, the sunlight enters the drop in such a way that it strikes the boundary of the drop twice and bounces back. So internal reflection inside the drop takes place twice. So that is the only difference. So I hope you are able to understand that when is a rainbow formed, why is a rainbow formed at that time, and how is a rainbow formed.
I hope this video was useful and this made your concepts crystal clear. If it did, do not forget to mention in the comments saying that concepts crystal clear. Now also I would like to mention that in this particular lesson, quite a few of the topics have been deleted for this year, that is 2020. So we have also curated this video as per the latest syllabus and we hope that you found it useful. If you really liked the video, do not forget to share it with your friends, and I will meet you all very soon with a new video with a new topic. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care. Bye-bye.